Stephanie Lanham with the Rock and Roll Show. So I am here with Carl Moore. Very tough man to get a hold of. He's been very, very busy this week.
Imaginarium rocks and rolls. It's a busy scene.
Right. So tell us about your books. Like I see it mostly horror. I know you've got that one. Why don't you just tell our audience about this real quick?
Sure. This is Slasher Crimson and Other Tales. It takes place in Portland, Maine by the sea, and it's about a haunted heavy metal band. What they're haunted by gets revealed as the story progresses. I'll give you a hint. She says she's a mermaid, but she might be something else. This one, Chains in the Sky. This one's even harder rocking. This is sort of a supernatural detective story about a retired Brooklyn cop who has to return to New York City on the streets of Brooklyn and hunt a demon in order to save her granddaughter from a terrifying fate in the afterlife. So if you like anything from Stephen King to even to dark fantasy like Harry Potter, or even if you remember Highlander and these kinds of things where you have fantasy interfacing with reality. And if you like mob movies, there's a lot of crime noir and exciting stuff in Chains in the Sky.
So out of those two books, which one was your favorite to write?
Well, they were fun for different reasons. Slash of Crimson was fun because I was in a satirical mood about how popular Twilight was when it first came out. So I said, I'm going to write a terrifying romance with a really unhappy ending. But ironically, a lot of romance crowd and paranormal romance folks ended up liking this and say that this is the funner love story, and this one did very well when it came out for that reason. So I started out as an angry satire and loving my literary revenge, and ended up with what some say is a bit of a romance. This one was fun because it was like Scarface with monsters, and I just love all kinds of. I lived in Brooklyn, New York, for a long time, and kind of fell in love with the street culture of Brooklyn and the crime noir and all of the kind of. Brooklyn is kind of ancient, like the borough in New York City, places where tourists don't go, that it's like a ruined Gothic landscape. And I'm like, man, I can just imagine demons around here, and all of the cool underworld activity from, nightclubs to gangs and all the fun stuff that goes with it. So this was fun to relive the nightlife of Brooklyn.
So, Imaginarium, 2023, 10 years. How was Imaginarium?
Imaginarium was incredible. You get to be an author and get better in every aspect of being an author. If you're on the panels, you learn so much from the panelists that you're working with. You learn so much from the audience's questions. When you're at the table, you learn your table with your books, selling your books. You learn from the people who come up and talk to you. And it's one of the conferences where you have the most access to a full range of professionals and new professionals in publishing, and you can learn so much about marketing. You can access from the guests of honor to the new authors, the indie presses. I feel like it's a really laid back convention, and yet also very professional convention. So you're getting all of the really important information about the craft, but in a really friendly, positive atmosphere.
That's one of the things that I hear from several interviews today, is that most people just love the atmosphere. They love that the family environment, the open arms, the welcomeness, the being able to build yourself not only as like a writer and an artist, even a musician, but also as a person in general. So it's nice. Now, is there anything in the future for you, like, or maybe one of these being turned into a movie? Or
I'm hoping there will be an audiobook of Slash of Crimson soon. We had already started working on that, and it got paused for various reasons, but that should be coming back around. And then hopefully I will have a new title next summer called Red December, Hunters and Werewolves in the Northern Woods. That should be really fun, and that's going to be an even crazier, harder rocking horror novel. But I should also mention that I've tried my hand at fantasy in Enchanted Realms, Tales of Fantasy in Light and Shadow. That's an anthology with 13 great fantasy authors who were kind enough to invite a scary guy in. And I wrote a piece of heroic fantasy that still has some cool monsters. So that's what's coming up in the future for me. So check out all that stuff. And big thanks to the horror podcast for inviting me to an interview.
Now, one last question. Well, probably two last questions. Who is your favorite Universal silver screen monster?
Silver screen monster. Oh man,
Tough
that's
one,
tough.
I know.
Classic. I think the things that come out of the alien eggs are pretty badass because they're small and fast.
They're scary.
And they're scary. And then you have to walk around with them and try to act normal for a little while before they bust through your chest. That was fairly brilliant stuff back in the day.
Yeah, that was. All right, and then the next thing, are we going to see you next year at Imaginarium 2024?
Hells yeah.
We'll probably end up doing some karaoke again.
Oh yeah, the jam's gonna be even better.
You got to learn from Evanescence.
I'm gonna learn an Evanescence tune and bring the electric guitar.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. All right, well, Miss Moore, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.